This is the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. Listen as two best friends for over 40 years share our experiences, insights, and unique stories.
Hey BFFers, I'm at home today. Diana's at home. I'm still sick, so whatever. But we just wanted to be like, hey, thanks for coming and hanging out with us, and we really appreciate you guys. So we just want to make sure you know that when you come in and hang out with us every week, that we really appreciate it. Hi Diana, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Ah, I miss you. I'm not with you.
I know, right? I'm in the comfy of my jams,
Nice, good for
recording.
you.
Yes.
So we finally got some sun out, so this is awesome. I'm so excited. It makes you feel so much better. So this week we want to talk about a couple of, different things. Like we usually have these subjects, but I think we're just going to go off on a little bit of a tangent this week. So bear with us and just have some fun. So one of the first topics that I think for most parents our age is the cost of college. So I recently saw an article that the majority of I don't want to say Ivy League, but the good colleges up here in the Northeast are over $100,000 a year.
It's
And
ridiculous.
who can afford that? I'm sorry, I don't care. Even if you're getting some type of assistance, it's absolutely asinine. And what college is worth that? I don't even think Harvard is worth that, in my opinion. So
I just don't understand how you're going to go 4 years of college and what loans you're going to come out with
right?
college being 90 grand.
Right. So Dave didn't start college until he was, later in life when Ashley was first born, and he ended up going to get his master's, and but that's what we were told. You go to college, you do that, and then you're going to come out with a good job. Now, with all the loans that he had to take out because he was working, because he was married, had children, he didn't really qualify for any financial assistance. What we have figured out is we're going to be paying for his loan until he's 72. That's just his loan, let alone, any of the kids. So you have two kids that have gone to college. Like, what are you
Three.
doing? Like, how do
I've
you
had
do
three
that?
kids. Yeah, so
Right.
it's been Lauren, Jason, and Matt.
Yeah,
And
I forgot about
Jason's
Jane.
back
Yeah.
in school. So, but Lauren, the first 2 years we paid for her college in the South. It's way cheaper, and I'll talk about that a little later. But she's got a shit ton of loans, and when she graduates with her master's in May, she's got to think about refinancing her loans because she locked in at a high rate. So I think she was hoping on the loan forgiveness program going through. So
Which I
kind of
I
tough.
don't know if I agree with. I agree with, but I don't agree with. So,
Exactly. I
and
mean,
part of me is, yeah, I don't agree with it because you decided to take these loans. However, I do agree that they do need assistance because it's ridiculous the amount of money that this costs these poor kids. Like, how can you afford anything? You're supposed to come out of college and get a job. Well, that job is now paying for your loans 100%. I mean, it's insane.
and with the cost of living and houses and gas and all that, how can these kids afford anything? No wonder they're living with their parents.
Right.
How many kids come out of college going right into the field that they went to school with? Or
A
not a
very
lot.
small
There's
percentage,
not a lot
yes.
of jobs out there.
No. And even
So it
then, you
kind of
have to
sucks.
have the experience in order to get the job, and you can't get the job until you get the experience. So it's, I mean, that's always been like that. But I just feel like it's
A no-win
so
situation
much
for them.
worse for these kids.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. I feel
Yeah.
bad. I mean, they just came out like, I don't know, within the past few weeks about saying how much it costs for Boston. I think it's BU, Wellesley, and there's one more.
Hmm.
BU, and they're 90 plus thousand a year. Like, who, 90,000.
Right. It's crazy. Yeah. Tufts
Tufts, that's it.
University. Yep.
Tufts is
Yep.
the other one.
Yeah. I mean, and those are very prestigious schools. Don't get me wrong. If you're going to that school and you do graduate, your likelihood of getting a job because that's on your
But
resume
you're
is very
paying off
high.
those loans forever then. I mean, 90,000 is, I don't care if you're a prestigious school. I mean, that's just
Insane. Yeah.
too much.
So, and then there was an article that came out that the BU grad students are now. Um, so what happens is
I
BU
saw
grad
that.
students they work, so they get to teach. Now, most of the time, their hours, what they're getting paid on is 20 hours a week. Just like any teacher, you're not really working 20 hours. You're working much more than that. So their rate of pay is anywhere between it was 45,000 to 65,000 a year. So, granted, for working 20 hours, that's great pay. However, they're not working 30 hours. And what they're saying is, so why they're striking is, they're looking for more money. They're looking for better medical because most of their medical doesn't cover what they're, um, like if they go to the hospital or something, it doesn't cover it because they're part time. Even though they have medical insurance, it's still not what they need. Think about that. BU is now charging $90,000 a year, and they can't pay their grad students more than that. Come on,
I thought
ridiculous.
I
It's
thought I saw something that they're like protesting or some.
Yep, they are. They're protesting. So now, any of those grad students that are protesting, the school is not paying them. Any of the grad students that are not protesting and that are working, they have to jump through hoops to show them that they're actually working. So it's crazy. Uh, education in this country, actually in the world, is so important. Why are they charging people so much for it? Is it because they're paying all this money to the board of trustees? These people don't need the money. It's come on,
I
really.
think it's just because they can. I mean, there's no other reason. There's no reason that a 4-year college tuition should cost $90,000 a year.
No,
No reason.
absolutely, no, absolutely not.
And
Yeah,
so, like I was saying earlier, that my kids have gone to school in the South. Like Lauren went to the University of Florida, and Matt goes to the University of Alabama, and Jason also went to a school in Florida. Now, I was looking up the prices because I feel like the South schools, and I know the cost of living is cheaper down there, but they do it right. Like
yeah.
at the University of Florida, they have something called um, prepay, Florida prepay. And so what that is, and I wish we lived in Florida. And I know a lot of Lauren's friends from college, they went through this program, and what they did was, if they weren't living in state, they moved back because they knew of this program. And what it does is it allows you to lock in the college rate of like when your child was born.
Yeah.
So a lot of the kids were paying, like, I mean, when Lauren went to college, we paid, I want to say, like 26,000 a year. That's it. I mean, and these
That's
kids
I
were
mean that's a
paying
lot
like
of money, but compared to up here, that's like nothing.
for her school, the University of Florida is like a top 5 ranked public university. So to get that up here,
Right.
she would never have been able to go. Like her choices were between UMass Amherst, no, sorry, University of New Hampshire and University of Florida. Now, University of Florida cost us, like I said, 26,000. That's all in price. That's room and board. That's tuition. Her cost at UNH was like 55K.
Why? I don't understand. So when our kids were, getting ready to go to college, we said, hey, listen, go to a community college, get your 2 first years, get all of that out of the way. You're going to get it so much cheaper, and then you'll figure out where you're going to go. Not everyone wants to do that. Everyone wants that whole college experience, and I get that. But what is the difference between UNH and University down in Florida? Like, what's the educational difference? I don't know. If you come out with a degree, and we need people to have these degrees. We need people to go to school. Not everyone, but we do need. So, for instance, in Maryland with the bridge collapse, now we need engineers to be able to create these bridges that can withstand something like that. If you can't afford to go to school, we're going to still have catastrophes like this.
Or the
It's
kids,
that.
sorry, I was going to say, or the kids go to school and they have loans that they're never going to be able to pay off and afford a
Right.
house.
Right. So it's just going to perpetuate everything. It's just going to keep rolling downhill and it's going to affect everyone. I, I don't understand it. I feel like the only way that we would be able to say, no, we don't want to pay these prices is to just not go to the schools.
Then where does that leave us?
I don't know. Other schools maybe
I
will pick
mean,
up the
maybe don't
slack.
go to the
I
schools
don't
up
know.
here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, another program that I know the kids down at University of Florida talked about. It was called the Bright Futures Scholarship Program, and that's funded by the state of Florida. Provides scholarships based on their high school academics achievements, and they also they award different levels to with different criteria, and they'll give you a scholarship funded by the state.
So yeah, I know there are a lot of scholarships that are available to people and you just have to go out there and find it. But here's my question. If you're going to get these scholarships and pretty much, and I don't want to belittle anything, everyone's hard work is worth it. But if you can get these scholarships, why are they even charging this much for the school? Just make it a little bit more affordable
I I
instead of.
I I don't understand how they can do that. Like, sad to say, but does the government have to step in and say, this is ridiculous?
Well, for the private sector, they can't. But I guess that's what if that's your choice to go into that. I don't have an answer. I don't know. And
Me
I'm
neither.
sure we could talk about this for days. So, but I just wanted to bring this up because when I saw that article, I was just like, your 4-year college tuition is going to cost you $400,000.
How can you
What?
ever repay that?
You
How?
can't. That's a house. And people mortgage their houses for 30 years. So you're going to have a house mortgage for 30 years. You're going to have a college loan for 30 years. If your spouse has a college loan for 30 years, how do you
And
get
think
ahead?
about, okay, so if you go on past 4 years of college, you do
Mm-hmm.
grad school or you want to be a doctor or a lawyer,
Mm-hmm. It's
it's just,
and you wonder why everything
it's so
costs so
out of
much
reach.
money. Yeah, you
Yeah.
wonder why, when your medical insurance costs so much money because these doctors have to pay back you know, their education, when you're like, I don't understand. Well, this is why.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's ridiculous.
So, BFFers, if you have any suggestions for other BFFers to say, hey, this is what we did for my kid, this is how we kind of got around paying for all of that, or any ideas, tips, tricks, things to, let everyone in on something to help them pay for college for your kids, let us know. We'd be happy to share that with everyone else. I think everything and any penny can help, So,
Absolutely.
all right. So now we
Absolutely.
want to talk about something a little different. Um, I thought it was I saw this article and it was 20 things that we do that make absolutely no sense. And I'm sure we can probably come up with 30 more things that we do that absolutely make no sense. And I thought these were really funny.
I thought
So
there were some really good ones in there because I'm like, oh my God,
I do that.
why
Yeah.
do we do that? Because I know I
um,
do it.
I know, and I do too. So one of the ones that really popped out to me, and this is because you're my friend and you're my anxiety-ridden friend, and I was like, oh, I know Diana does this. So when you're taking attendance in anything, it says overthinking your attendance call. The anxiety over how we sounded when we say here during attendance is quite common, and I was just like, that's good, Diana. Totally written all over that because you
Yeah,
want to
so
make sure that you hear them calling you and you're like, okay, it's a alphabetical order. Wait a minute, okay, we're on B. Are we on C? You're like, where we are.
that's me though, even through like, oh, so okay, I can relate that to going through a drive-through. Before I get up to the window, in my head 1,000 times, I'm saying over and over what I want. because when I get there, I don't want to fuck it up, right? So I'm like, what do I? So that is totally me. And
But
then
you,
after I say it, I'm like, did I sound like an idiot? Did I say that right? Or,
and
that's
just so you
absolutely me.
know, to ease your anxiety, the person taking your order doesn't give a shit.
I know,
We hear 1,000 of them a day, so you just
but it's just in my head.
breathe. I know, but yeah, I saw that and was like, yep, that's you.
There's
Um,
one on here that I like. It's stopping the microwave early. Like, why do I stop it early? I do. Like, it has like 3 seconds left. I can't let it finish. Do you do that? Do you ever do that?
do and the majority of the time, the reason that I do it, and this is me being the overeater part of me, is if it's at nighttime and I don't want anyone to know I'm using the microwave, I stop it so no one hears the beep.
That's so funny. I do it at work when I'm heating my lunch up all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know, like 9 seconds. I'm like, it's probably ready. I
Well, if
do
it's
it
probably
all
ready.
the time. So
But
crazy.
yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one that does that. I mean, I have my reasons, not just because I do, but yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
How about the tilting of your controller when you're playing video games? Constantly do that.
So, yeah, I'm not a
And I
gamer.
always kick my leg.
I'm not a gamer, so I feel like that helps me, go. And Dave will make fun of me. He's like, "Honey, you don't need to do that. You can do this." I'm like, "No, it helps me. Look, I'm doing so much better." So yeah, I do that because it's better. It's
Or when
absolutely
you
better.
go bowling and you lean, hoping the ball
Oh,
will lean that way.
yeah, and you're trying to
And
will
you're
it with
like,
your
go,
body.
go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's me. Do
Oh
that
my.
constantly.
How about the other one? This one was great. So checking if your phone is on silent.
I do
So
that all the time.
if
All
you
the
go
time.
back like maybe 10 years ago, we were paying decent money, maybe a couple bucks for ringtones because we wanted
Yeah.
these fun ringtones. Now everyone's phone is on silent, constantly, constantly, constantly. But yet, when you go into a meeting or you're going into someone, and like if we go into church and they're like, silence your phones. I'm silent. My phone is always on silent.
I
But
think
I make
that's more
sure
for
that
my parents' age people because their phones are never on silent. Ever.
really.
Yeah, so at at Jake's funeral, my dad's news alerts were going off, and I looked at him and I
Oh,
was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." So their phone, I swear that's what that's for. My always inappropriate. My mom and my dad's more my dad. His phone goes off at the craziest times.
but he has the hearing aids. It can go right into his hearing aid. He can
Yeah, well
fix
now
that. Yeah.
but they're so famous for like if we're in church or we're out at a restaurant and you hear do 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 do.
I have people at work that are like that, and I'm like, after like the 12th time, I literally stand up. I'm like, all right, whose phone is that? We're at work.
Yeah,
Why is your phone not on silent? Because I know you're texting with someone.
those are
What
the
are you doing?
boomers. Those are
Good.
definitely the boomers.
Well, no one owns up to it. I just know that it stops.
Yeah. The one that says checking your fridge or freezer, I don't do that. Do you?
No, I don't do that. What? Oh, no, but did you read what it was for? So it says looking in the fridge, finding nothing, and checking it again a few minutes later as if something new will appear. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
a
I don't.
food thing.
Yeah, I don't do that though, because
Oh, yeah, no, we do. Like Dave and I would both stand there and look in the fridge. There's nothing in there. Then you go to the cabinet. There's nothing in there. Then you go back to the fridge. Like something new's going to appear. It
pop up.
doesn't. But then it's
No.
more like, maybe that'll sound good to me. But it doesn't. It never does. Yeah.
So the
No,
next
no.
one says throwing away instructions for microwave meals. I mean, I do this, but it's any instructions. Like if I'm making stovetop stuffing, I throw the box away and then I'm like, why did I do that?
Right. Or
Or,
baking brownies or something. Yes.
I'm like, and then I have to go in the trash and dig out the
The
box. But I'm
box.
like, sometimes I'm like, I throw it away and I know how to cook it, but I need the box there to read it.
I
I don't
was
know.
famous for
Stupid.
that with MapQuest. When MapQuest was a thing before we had all of our things on our phones.
Navigation.
Yeah, and I would print out the directions of where I was going, and I would probably read it 1,000 times, and then I would still have to look at it and look at it and look at it and look at it again, even though I knew it was exit 3. And I'm like, wait, was it
I
really
do the
exit
same.
3?
You know what? To be honest with you, I still do that. Because it'll say, you have your navigation and it says, get off at exit 3. And I'm like, exit 3, is that what it wants? Like, and I'm driving, say it's like 10 miles, driving
Yeah,
exit 3. Yep, that's what I want. And I keep driving and I look at it again. Okay, I need to get over at exit 3. Like, I mean, I know that's my anxiety as well, but
yeah.
I do that constantly.
Do you have your navigation? Does it talk to you, or do you just
No,
look at it? Yeah,
no,
I
I
don't
don't have
either.
it talk to me. I just have it on the screen. I like to use it everywhere I go, to be honest with you. I like a time check to tell me what time I'm going to get to that place.
I use it more for work because of traffic. Even though I'm going pretty much the same route every day, it will tell me different ways to
It
go.
will reroute you, yes.
Yeah, to save 10 minutes,
That's the
So
best
I
thing.
do use it basically for that, not just because I don't want to say I don't care what time I get to work. I know what time to leave in order to get to work on time, but I do check it before I go in case there is, you know, um, any traffic, just in case I do need to leave early.
This
But
one you're going to know is definitely me.
mm,
Rereading sent messages. I
you do, and then you correct them, and even though I know what it means because I know you so well.
But I even go back like 10 minutes later and think, did I say that? Did I write that the right way? And I read it. And like, even if I'm like sending it to, I don't know, my boss, say she texted me over something. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, did I say that right? So I always reread my sent messages. Always.
Oh my God,
Anxiety, I guess.
you need to chill, man.
Even my emails, I do it with my emails as well. I send them and then I'm like, did that come out right? Or, yeah,
And I have to say, I'm the complete opposite. I'm guilty of just sending an email and then someone sending back, or, like my boss is famous for like, you should probably reread that. Like I spelled something wrong or what. And I'm just like, all right, you know what I meant. It's not like I was emailing a customer. This was a casual conversation that we're
yeah.
having through email. Get over yourself.
You ever though send something to someone like, I don't know, a boss or not your boss, but the boss's boss or something, and then you read it and you're like,
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
mistake in it, and then you like panic.
I have the best one. This just happened 2 weeks ago. So at work, we were doing a Biggest Loser contest, and I'm the person that runs it. So people come over to me, they weigh in. I have all the information on my computer. No one knows anyone's weight except for myself. We do everything by a percentage of your weight loss. Now, this is awful. I literally wanted to throw up. So I actually on Fridays have to send out an email to probably like, I think it's 12 people saying, okay, our customers are coming in this week. Here's the dates. Here's the times that they're coming in. I send it. One of the girls that receives it is also in the Biggest Weight Loss Challenge. She says, can you recall that message? And I'm like,
And you're
why?
like, fuck, why?
Why? She's like, you attached all the information for the Biggest Loser. And I went, oh. She's like, I literally wanted to throw up and crawl in a hole and die.
How
So
did you do that?
they were right. I only have them on my my screen. Like I don't have it saved in a folder, and I just attached the wrong one because they were right next to each other.
Yeah.
So luckily, only I think a couple of people looked at it. I was able to recall it, but no one said anything, except for my boss who said, "Why did you recall that 5 times?" I'm like, "I just wanted to make sure I recalled it." And I'm like,
See?
so now I have no idea who knows. And I just felt so bad because I'm like, all right, my shit's out there, whatever. I don't,
Is it
who cares?
everybody's weight?
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I need to maybe
Yeah.
do what you do and kind of look at things before I send
100
it.
times.
So yeah, I felt bad. I really did. But no one
Yeah.
else said anything, so I think I was okay.
That's so funny. All right, let's see what else we got here.
abandoning online shopping carts. Oh, yes,
I
that's
mean,
my favorite thing.
I like on Amazon, I'll put stuff in the cart, but I also will or I'll save it for later.
Hmm.
I don't know if I really just abandon stuff in a cart.
Oh, I do. And then I get the email that says, "Hey, did you forget
Are
you
you
left something behind?" And I'm like,
uh,
"No, I didn't
which,
forget. I didn't want to pay $5.99 for shipping."
right, right. I
Stupid
know.
reasons, you know? Or so I do this like even when I'm in a store. Like I'll pick something up. I'm like, "Oh, that's really cute," and I put it in my carriage and I walk. I'm really good at this at TJ Maxx. I'm like, oh, I love this. Or like I see a pocketbook and I walk around the store with it and I'm going to buy it. And by the time I'm getting ready to leave the store, I look at it and go, yeah, nope, I don't need that. Don't want it. I've walked around with the pocketbook. I'm good. I don't want it. So I think that's good that I do that, that I kind of let it sit in the cart for a little while because otherwise I'd probably spend a lot more money than I do.
Same.
Yeah, right. And it's so easy to do, especially like online. Boom. All right. What other things did they say that was
Watching
Um,
someone else's screen on a plane,
I
do
don't.
that. If
I've
I'm
never
sitting
done that.
next to a stranger, I'll look over and see what they're watching. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess but most of the time I'm paying more attention to my phone, or
right.
my screen because I'm watching something.
Yeah. The one that cracked me up, and I actually thought of Julie, pretending to be in a movie while listening to music. I'm like, I know that Julie has this whole, like, I don't know how to.
Scenario.
Yeah, like she has this whole playlist, her life playlist. Yeah, soundtrack to her life. And I cracked up when I saw that. I mean, I know, we all kind of do that in little things, but I'm like, oh, this is so Julie, 100%.
Absolutely. That's so funny. Absolutely.
um,
Walking
uh,
around on your phone.
no,
Everybody in the entire fucking world does that.
right? I
That's
don't.
not a weird thing.
No, it's not a weird thing. The late night scroll. We've all been there telling ourselves we're going to bed early, only to get caught on the endless scroll. And it's
Yep,
funny.
rabbit
I
hole.
I try to go to bed early because I want to get up around 4:30, 5 o'clock, do my walk. I'm trying to run, do this stuff, and I'll like message Dave stuff that I think is funny, and he'll be like, "Babe, you've been in bed for an hour. I thought you were asleep already." And I'm like, "I'm trying, but I'm just not tired." And I'm just, yeah. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that.
Sometimes for me, when I'm up in the middle of the night, stuff pops into my brain and I'm like, but I can't text them because it's 3:30 in the morning. So,
Well, you can because my phone's on silent, so I don't
and
care.
most everybody's phone is on silent, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I have gone down the TikTok rabbit hole or like just scrolling on things in the middle of
Yeah.
the night
Oh,
constantly.
absolutely. And it gets so you start on one thing and then you're like totally like 180 and like, how did I even get here? How did that
I
even
know.
happen? Like, I don't understand. This I'm so bad at. Hitting save multiple times. So like when you're creating a document and you do something and you save it and then you save it again. And because I'm like, did it save? I think because I've been burnt by that before where I thought I saved something. This is like way back in the early days of Excel and stuff, and it didn't save. So now it's just a habit to,
I
keep
don't
hitting the
I don't
button.
do that at all.
No?
I
Oh,
don't
I
I
do.
don't save every so often. I just wait till the end. So, cuz sometimes Word or whatever has auto save while you're working.
I hate that. Don't tell me what to do.
Mm.
Don't save my
But
shit.
it
I want to
helps
do
you.
it myself. Mm-mm.
It saves it for you so you don't have to hit it multiple times.
No, no, no. I want to be my own decision maker. All right, our next one was lying in bed with your hands in the air. Oh,
Uh,
do you do this? I do
like you
this.
just
I do.
don't care.
Yeah, and wave it around. No, yeah. I do this weird thing. And I lay in bed and I do this. And then I do this. I don't know
Before
why.
bed?
It's a no, it could be before bed or after bed. It's a comfort thing. It's the weirdest thing. And I never even, honestly, I didn't realize that I did it until Dave was like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's just, I like it. It's a
I
weird
don't
thing.
think my hands are in the air. Well, I'm asleep, so.
Yeah, so maybe you
They
just...
may hang off the bed, but I don't think they're in the air.
Oh, no, mine don't hang off the bed. There's a witch under the bed that's going to touch me, so no. Do you have weird things like that? Like your feet can't stick out from the bed or anything?
No.
Oh, I do.
No.
Wicked.
You feel like something's going to attack you if your foot's out of the bed?
Yeah, like these long witch fingers are going to come out and
No.
touch my feet.
No, that's one anxiety I do not have.
Now, mind you, we have a bed that has drawers underneath. You can't get under my bed, and I still have that. So,
That's crazy.
It is. It's a weird thing. What's this one? Naming files slightly different. Saving versions of documents under slightly different names is a habit born out of caution. I don't do that.
Nah.
I
mean, unless it's the same document, like I do a grid each week, so I name it payroll grid and the date. But that's because that's what I need to do. But I don't.
Yeah.
But I do my passwords. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but my passwords are all similar.
Diana Marie.
How am I going to remember them if they're not?
There's apps that you can get, things like LastPass and stuff, that you can look them up. And if you forget them, that's not good.
I do that. I save my passwords, but like if I'm changing them, if I have to, like at work, change my password every so many days, it's the same thing. I just add a different character on the end so I can remember it.
Don't tell anyone.
I'm not saying what my password is. You don't know it. I tell you what characters I do or what I do. It's just that I keep the same type of thing, and then I just add a different something on the end.
I get that. As long as it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's just easy to remember that way, because I have a million programs at work that I need a password for. So it's like, why should I have a different one for everyone?
No, I get that. I do. Okay, this one. Avoiding what you actually want in stores. Oh, okay. So pretending to look at something else when someone is near the item you want is something we all do. I'm guilty of that.
Of course it is. Doesn't everybody do that? Because you don't want to go near the person and touch what they're looking at?
No, because people do that to me. Like, I'll be looking at something and they'll just come over and reach in front of me, and I'm like, rude. So no, not everyone does that. Or they just kind of stand there and wait. They're not looking at other things that they don't care about.
True.
But I do look at things that I don't care about.
Same.
Have you ever gone into a store, say like a clothing store at the mall, and you don't find anything that you're looking for, and you don't want to leave the store empty-handed, so you buy something stupid, like a pair of earrings? Oh. When I was younger, I was so guilty of that. It was awful. I would just because I felt bad. Why the fuck would I feel bad? I don't know. Now I just feel guilty walking out of the store. I'm like, do they think I stole something? I'm always like, oh, look, I'm walking out of the store really slow, and I got my pocketbook. I'm good. Yeah, no. Yeah, when I was younger, I would buy. I have had so many stupid earrings or like things for my hair that I never fucking used because I felt bad.
No, I don't think I ever did that, but I know if there was something at a clothing store that I wanted, I lurked around if someone was looking at it, and then as soon as they left, I went over and got it.
You were the lurker.
I was the lurker. I was the lurker because it's what I wanted, and they were touching it, and I was hoping they didn't get it, and if they walked off with it, I was pissed.
Yeah, so what do you do at that point? Because if you were the person that grabbed it, you'd be like, sorry.
Yeah.
You snooze, you lose type of thing. All right, the next one is skipping songs. Say that 10 times fast. Skipping songs on shuffle. So putting on your playlist on shuffle only to skip songs until you find the one you actually wanted. Yeah,
do it all the time.
I have songs on some of my lists that I'm like, ugh, I hate this song. Why don't I take it off?
I think the same thing. Too lazy, so we just skip.
Yeah, exactly. Aiming for an even number at the gas pump.
Constantly! I always do that when I pump my own gas.
Do you? So we have a thing that it actually has to end in the number 1. So whatever reason, I don't know why we started this, but so we
So you
know
know
that
it's
if you
dog
bought
child,
gas,
probably.
yeah. So trying to get an end on the number 1 sometimes is really difficult. I end up, you're not supposed to overpump, but I pretty much always do because of that.
I overpump to get it on the zeros.
Do you? Nice. All right. Any other weird things that you do? Like, I mean, I know there are some,
But I
I
might
don't
not
know.
think they're weird.
That's true. Like, why do we reach into like a loaf of bread? Why do you reach into the middle? What's wrong with the
I
stuff
don't
that's on
know.
the end?
Why is that? Why
I
can't you
don't.
get
That's what I'm
maybe because
saying.
the ends used to be stale? I don't know. No one wants an
The
end, so they go in the middle.
right. But what's wrong with the first few pieces in there?
I don't know. I don't
See,
know. I do that.
yeah,
Crazy.
it is like other. I can't remember, but I know that there's a ton of weird things. So BFFers, if there's some weird things that you want to share that you do, let us know because we would think that's absolutely
I would love
hysterical.
to hear it.
I know that would be so great. Just
Know
sit
that
on
I'm not
our
alone.
right, and that we're not just the crazy ones.
Exactly. I have a housekeeping update I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
The Karen Reed trial. Her defense team filed a motion to have the case dismissed. And just recently it was denied, which I don't understand how, but
I don't
whatever.
understand
And
either.
her trial's coming up on April 16th, so I know Noelle and I have talked about it a lot. I would love to get to that trial. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know
we
if
need
we'd
to
even be
figure
able
out.
to get inside. I think it's going to be packed.
I'm sure it will, but I think it'll probably last a long time. So I think we might have availability to at least get in there one
I
day.
have a feeling the
So,
same.
do they? Because I don't know how this works. Do they tell you the schedule of what like once it starts? Will they say, okay, it's going to be like every Monday or two? Like, does it go every day? Like, how does that work?
It's every day, Noelle. I
Okay,
think.
all
I
right,
mean, I don't know. I
all right.
assume it goes every day unless there's a conflict with the scheduling for the judge or the attorneys. I'm
Okay.
sure that then they would change the date, but I assume it goes constantly. I mean, because you have jurors that are putting their life on hold, so
Oh, that's true. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I
they
didn't even.
can't.
Oh my
You
gosh, could you imagine if they probably would not have allowed us to be on
no, because
the jury?
we talked about it.
Right, right.
I would love to be a juror on that case, though.
I know, right. Have you ever gone on a jury?
So I don't want to jinx myself, but I've been called once, and it was canceled.
That's it? Oh my God. I swear, every time
And I
it's,
just
my time.
recently got called.
You did. Wait,
Yeah, so
what?
like what I mean is like my whole life, 55, I just got called maybe 3 years or 4 years ago.
Are you kidding me?
First
I
time
swear
ever.
I've been, every single time it's available, I get called. Like constantly. And the only time I actually got on, like was picked, the person ended up deciding to plead their case to the judge. It was a drunk driving case. So we just kind of sat around for a few hours. So, however, in Massachusetts, it's very different than in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
When you get called in New Hampshire, you have to serve for a month.
really.
Yeah. So what happens is you go in on a Monday and there's jury selection. And if you don't get picked, regardless if you get picked or not, but say you don't get picked, you have to go back the next Monday and see if you get picked. Now, if you say that first Monday you get picked and you serve for 3 days, you still have to go back the next Monday. You're not done.
You got to
Yeah,
do the
it's
full month.
yeah. I think because there's not a lot of people in New Hampshire, you have to do it that way. They just don't have enough people to serve. So I have gone, I think twice or 3 times now, and luckily I haven't had to serve. One of them was during COVID, and I didn't even have to go to the courthouse. I just had to call, so which was good.
Cool. A
But
friend of mine,
I've gone to several places. I've been in Boston. I've been in Cambridge. I've been to 2 different districts in New Hampshire. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I always end up getting called, but I luckily haven't had to serve. So
friend of mine got picked for a grand jury, which
ooh,
was very interesting. I'm sure, because it was
Yeah,
hearing cases to see if they should go to trial.
right.
And I think it's a
But
6-week process. It's a
and
long time.
it is. I mean, it's ridiculous, and your job suffers for it. I mean, there's so much that goes to it. And you get paid $20 a day. What the hell is that? Because you're
That
doing
won't
your
even buy you lunch nowadays.
nope, 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 nope.
I
Okay.
find that stuff interesting, though.
I think when I was younger, I was like, no, this is a waste of my time. Now I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I would totally want to do that. I
Well,
wouldn't mind.
especially the grand jury, because you're seeing all these cases of whatever, murder, some were
Yeah,
disturbing, but I just
yeah,
would, like to hear what they found and all that kind of stuff. I would find
right,
it very interesting. I think I went
right.
into the wrong field.
Not everyone likes that murder porn, Diana.
Yeah.
So, something funny, kind of still keeping in the craziness of, um, the law enforcement or whatever. So, did you see that there's a California town that is using Lego heads on mugshots?
No.
Oh my gosh. So what they're doing is because they're keeping people's stuff private, is when they show the mug shots or they show different um pictures of them, they actually put like the Lego heads, the little yellow heads that you put on the Lego people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's absolutely hysterical. And I find it so funny because some of them are like,
Why are they hiding their faces? They were arrested. They shouldn't have to hide. Like the people that go to court.
here it is,
That
look that.
there it is. Oh my god, that's so
So
funny. The people that go to court and they hide, like, why are you hiding?
Okay, so there was a law that went into effect that restricts how and when law enforcement agencies in California can share the suspect's photos and mugshots. So, under the new law, it prohibits the law enforcement from sharing their photos for non-violent crime. When
I
they
love
show a
it.
lineup too, like a little further down, and it's all of these different faces, and I'm just like, and I know this stuff is not supposed to be funny, but that is just, oh my gosh, yeah, there's the lineup. Keep going further
I
down.
like the lady with the
There,
glasses.
look at that.
The guy sitting there looks cranky.
But I just thought that was really
Number
funny.
two's got a great face.
Yeah, right? Like,
You got the scared my face.
hey, BFFers, Noelle here. I haven't done this segment in a while, but it is one of my favorites. So it's shit Diana sends me. So these are going to be texts or emails or whatever things that she just randomly sends me in the middle of the day. We never have like, hey, how are you? Good morning, that type of stuff. It's just, we just have this consistent conversation on different platforms. So, okay. So some of these I'm going to, we'll show, and they all have a little context to them, so I'll explain them. And I really hope you guys think they're as funny as I do. So she sends me this. She's like, what the fuck is this? I'm wearing this shirt this morning. If you look, she has circled something. And I'm like, what is that? Like, what is that little thing on? And she wore that to work. So she had this little pee-pee thing on her shirt at work. I couldn't stop laughing and giggling throughout the day. I thought it was awesome. She didn't even realize it until afterwards. And she's wearing the shirt. I don't know if you can tell that. She's wearing the shirt. I'm always constantly making fun of her for being on the shot, the Ozempic shot. And at any point in time that I can talk about explosive diarrhea, these are the reasons why, because she sends me stuff like this that, it says, why am I this way? Yeah. So this is why I make fun of her. And then she says to me, or says to everyone, I don't have that problem. But look, there you go. What's wrong with us? Why do we do this? I rando get a text that says, do you know what a fleshlight is? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh my gosh, you do. And she's talking about it at dinner. And I'm like, okay, why are you talking about this at dinner? So they're doing a Christmas grab. So she's going to get a dildo for a Christmas grab. And then they start talking about a fleshlight. Now, I don't know if anyone knows what a fleshlight is. I'm not sure if you should Google it, but it's basically a dildo for men. Yeah, I don't know how that came up at dinner. This is again going back to, explosive diarrhea. She's like, they were saying that spousers are waking up with their partners, shitting themselves in their sleep. This was right before I was trying to get on Ozempic. Really? And she's been pestering me to get on Ozempic and in this, and she sends me this. So yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to go on Ozempic. This is part of our kind of ESPN thing. Like, we'll be having a conversation with other people on text, and then I just know her, and I can't remember. With this, someone came up with an idea for something with the podcast, and I knew because Diana, she just didn't answer right away, and I was like, "Stop! It's a really good idea." And I didn't say, as you can read, she didn't say that I wasn't. And I was like, you rolled your eyes. Now, mind you, I'm not with her, but I could feel that she was rolling her eyes and knowing that I just know her. She's like, no, I didn't. And when she just laughs and says, LOL, she rolled her eyes. Then we were trying to figure out a title we gave to one of our friends who's helping us out with the podcast. And I instantly knew she was going to text me, what was it? And as you can see, I don't remember. And she's like, how did you know? That's what I was going to ask. I'm like, because I saw you texting me and I knew. And we call it ESPN. It's kind of, it's kind of funny. So this is, a day in a life with Diana that I just know what this woman's going to text me next. For those of you that are listening to the podcast, you're not going to understand this. But if you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, you can see these pictures. So I get a picture from Diana. She took a snapshot of one of our first podcasts that we were, you could see us. And she circles something and puts an arrow to it. And I'm like, I don't fucking see anything. So she will tell you she's her own worst critic. So here she is saying something about her belly, which you can't see anything. And then the next one is her hair. And I'm like, I don't fucking see anything. I don't understand. So then she sends me the next text and she's like, bald. And I'm like, it's not. Sorry, I cracked up. I'm like, it's your gray hair. You just need spray. She's like, nope, bald. Like, what is that face? I was just dying. Absolutely, absolutely dying. She's her own worst critic, and we need to help this woman. We're in a class, and we're not sitting next to each other. She's like, this lady beside you is driving me crazy. And I'm thinking, bitch, I'm sitting next to her. I know. So we're still, in high school, I feel like sometimes. All right, so this one, it's in the morning. I don't have the time, but I think it's like 7 a.m. Oh my gosh, her cat had the shits. I'm like, what? So she shit in the bed sheets, and I thought it was in her bed. She's like, no, in the closet. Okay, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. 7 o'clock in the morning, I think it was a Sunday that you're telling me that your cat had the shit. So as best friends, we share everything. If you don't realize that by now. All right, so this is shit Diana sends me. I hope you find it funny because I find it absolutely hysterical. So thanks for joining me. Bye. All right, little BFFers. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful week. And please remember, it is always better to have a friend with 2 chins than 2 faces.
That's right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
To everything.
Send us to the
all
top.
Of it. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
See ya.
You've been listening to Life's Journey with Best Friends. For details on any of the things we've mentioned in the podcast, including photos, visit our website lifesjourneybff.com. You can also email us at lifesjourneybff@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads.
Remember, no matter where life takes you, you are never alone when you have a best friend by your side. Until next time.